My beloved soul, something shifted in the unseen last night, and if you felt even a flicker of emotion out of nowhere, a sudden heaviness, a warmth in your chest, a thought of them that made no logical sense, you are not imagining it. Something reached for you. Something called your name without sound. Their heart spoke, and your spirit heard the echo before your mind understood. Don't look away. Don't doubt this. Not tonight. Lean closer, because what I am about to reveal will not just answer questions, it will change your posture toward everything you thought you knew. Something happened in the quiet. They felt you. Not like a memory. Not like a habit. Not like a ghost of something that used to be. They felt you the way a soul recognizes a mirror. And it scared them, like truth does when a person suddenly realizes they can no longer outrun it. Your energy showed up in their chest like a truth they didn't want to admit. They felt the weight of the words they never said. They felt the pull of the conversations that never happened. They felt the ache of the endings that weren't really endings, just pauses loaded with unfinished sentences. And in that moment, they understood something. Losing you would not feel like losing a chapter. It would feel like losing a future. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Your spirit came here for a reason. Last night, they stood at the edge of a decision. Their heart and their fear fought like rivals. Their hand hovered over their phone. Their thoughts tried to be logical, cold, mechanical, controlled, but their emotions refused to obey. The mind said, "Let it go." The heart said, "Then why does this still hurt?" And that conflict didn't disappear when the sun came up. It followed them. It's following them still. That restlessness you sensed? That subtle shift in the air? That is them moving toward truth, even if their feet haven't moved yet. Listen closely. Emotional awakening doesn't always announce itself with action. Sometimes it begins with discomfort. They feel uncomfortable pretending they don't care. They feel uncomfortable acting unaffected. They feel uncomfortable with the silence they once used as protection. Their excuses don't comfort them like they used to. Their distractions don't numb them like they used to. Their pride doesn't feel like strength anymore, it feels like loss disguised as dignity. You are not imagining this shift. You are not foolish. You are not dramatic. You are connected. What they feel is not obsession, it is recognition. They recognize you as the person they could have built something with if they had been braver, softer, more honest with themselves. They recognize the moments they could have stepped closer but pulled away instead. They recognize how they made you feel like you were asking for too much when really you were asking for the bare minimum of emotional presence. And here's the part you need to inhale slowly. They missed the version of themselves that existed around you. You brought out someone they didn't know how to maintain. Someone real. Someone vulnerable. Someone who didn't have to perform strength. You were not just comfort, you were clarity. Keep breathing. There's more. This message is not telling you to wait. It is not telling you to chase. It is not telling you to carry the relationship for both of you. It is telling you that inside them, a conversation has begun. A conversation between fear and desire. Between safety and honesty. Between what they've known and what they want. And that conversation has your name in it. They are realizing that running has not saved them. Distance has not healed them. Silence has not protected them. And pretending has only delayed what their heart has already chosen. Their awakening is not an accident. Your growth triggered it. Your silence taught them something your words never could. Your peace is louder than your pain ever was. That is why they feel you now more than before. That is why they are unsettled. That is why this message found you today. Don't stop reading. The next words matter. Your story with them is not in the past tense. It is in the comma between what was and what could still be. Something within them is waking up, and it isn't gentle. It isn't romantic in a soft, cinematic way. It is disruptive, uncomfortable, like a mirror suddenly being held up in front of a soul that can't hide anymore. Your energy doesn't haunt them, it confronts them. It confronts every excuse they ever made. It confronts every moment they convinced themselves they didn't need to feel anything deeply. It confronts every time they chose silence instead of sincerity. And now, that silence has turned on them. What once felt like control now feels like consequence. What once felt like protection now feels like loss. My beloved soul, they are wrestling with themselves because you are no longer waiting for them to catch up, and that shift in you is shifting the connection. Your growth changed the dynamic. And now their heart is trying to decide if it will rise to match what you've become, or step aside and watch you walk into a future they are afraid to lose. Something in them whispers your name in moments they can't control, while washing dishes, while scrolling their phone, while lying awake at night pretending they're fine. Your memory doesn't knock softly. It kicks the door. It demands attention. They catch themselves wondering what you're doing now, who you've become, who gets the softness they once took for granted. They wonder if someone else sees you clearly. They wonder if someone else knows how to hold what they mishandled. And that thought is what keeps them up. Not the idea of you moving on, but the possibility that you are moving on without pain. That you are becoming someone they can't return to in the same way. That is what shakes them. Because deep down, they know if they come back now, it must be with more than feelings. It must be with effort. With clarity. With consistency. With no more half-truths, no more emotional crumbs, no more almost. Pause and breathe. This next part matters. You are not the person you were when they last had access to you. Your standards rose while their avoidance grew heavy. Your energy shifted from longing to alignment. You learned to love without begging. To care without collapsing. To hope without handing over your self-worth like a sacrifice. That evolution is what they feel. Even from a distance. Even in silence. Even in separation. They can sense that you are seeing through things now, the excuses, the delays, the emotional fog. They can sense that you are entering a version of yourself where you will no longer make homes out of temporary people or wait rooms out of relationships that cannot choose you with both clarity and confidence. And that version of you requires a different response than the past. A calmer response. A cleaner response. A response that says, without words, if you want access to me, match me. If you want closeness, meet me. If you want my heart, show up with your hands open instead of hiding behind them. This is why the connection is shifting. Not because love disappeared, but because alignment is demanding truth. And truth always exposes who is ready and who is not. They are starting to feel the consequences of their own silence. Not in punishment, but in contrast. They see you detaching from confusion. They see you choosing peace over panic. They see you stepping back without bitterness. And that calm is louder than any emotional outburst could have ever been. That calm makes them question their absence more than your longing ever did. That calm makes them wonder if they still have a place in your story, or if they are just a memory learning to accept its ending. Lean in. There's something you need to hear, not with fear, but with power. If they return, they won't come back casually. They won't come back with vague words and unfinished sentences. They will come back because something in them finally understood that connection is not maintained through hope alone, it is maintained through participation. Through effort. Through the courage to speak the truth even when the voice shakes. And if they don't return, it will not be a sign that you were unworthy. It will be a sign that they could not rise to the level of the lesson. Sometimes the person is real, but the timing is not. Sometimes the connection is real, but the courage isn't. And that is not your burden to carry anymore. Your life is expanding. Your heart is stabilizing. Your spirit is stepping into alignment. And if they truly belong in your future, they will not be intimidated by your growth. They will be inspired by it. They will meet you there. They will choose you there. They will speak where they used to hesitate and show up where they used to disappear. And if they don't, then your growth was the closure. There is a crossroads forming between you and them, and it is not a place of fantasy or fear, it is a place of truth. Their soul is being pulled forward while their patterns pull them back. They feel drawn to you, but they also feel exposed by the idea of returning. Because coming back isn't just coming back anymore. It means arriving differently. It means returning with intention, not impulse. With clarity, not confusion. With effort, not apologies shaped like excuses. And if they choose to move toward you now, it will be because something in them finally understood that love without action is just awareness. And awareness without change is just a memory trying to stay alive. Do you feel this shift? Not in your mind, but in that deep place in your body where intuition speaks first. The energy is changing. Like a door that was closed not being flung open, but unlocked. Like a voice clearing its throat before speaking. Like tension dissolving just enough for possibility to breathe. They are not ready to leap, but they are no longer able to stay where they were. Something in them is reaching, hesitantly, clumsily, honestly. And the next steps will not look like a movie scene. They will look like small gestures that carry more weight than the grand gestures they never gave you before. A message that feels intentional. A confession that feels unpolished but real. A question that reveals vulnerability instead of avoidance. This is the mixed destiny at play. They are moving toward you, but only truth will decide if they arrive. You are not required to wait at the door. You are not required to stand still. You are not required to put your life on pause like a bookmark holding the last page. You are allowed to move forward while they figure out how to move at all. You can walk your path, and if they are meant to be beside you, they will catch up, not because you slowed down, but because they sped up. That is alignment. Not sacrifice. Not shrinking. Not dimming so someone else feels bright enough to try. Alignment means, I will meet you where maturity exists, not where excuses were born. They feel this. Even if they don't say it. Even if they don't know how to process it. They feel the pressure of time, not as a countdown, but as a realization. There is no returning to the old dynamic. If they come back now, they step into a new structure, one where you do not negotiate your worth to keep the connection alive. One where your peace doesn't bend to their confusion. One where you are no longer asking, will you choose me, but instead, do our choices align? This is what scares them. Not the love, they can handle love. It's the requirement attached to loving you now. The requirement of presence. The requirement of honesty. The requirement of consistency. The requirement of no longer using fear as a reason to stay emotionally small. They know that stepping toward you means stepping away from who they used to be. And that is why this story no longer depends on desire alone. It depends on evolution. They are being confronted with a truth they cannot outrun. If they want a place in your future, they cannot arrive as a visitor to your soul. They must arrive as a participant. And here is where your power stands quietly, unshakably. You are not waiting for them, you are waiting for clarity. If clarity leads them back, there will be room to receive. If clarity releases them, there will be space to rise. Both paths lead forward. Both paths lead to peace. Both paths serve the future you are growing toward. Pause, breathe, and feel this with your whole spirit. You are no longer hoping for a person. You are holding a standard. And if they want the privilege of presence, they must meet it. The connection continues, but not blindly. They move closer, but not immediately. You open the door, but not without boundaries. This is the space where destiny is decided, not by longing, but by who you both become next. Something in them is preparing to step toward you, and it won't look perfect. It will look human. They will come with nerves in their voice, not because they doubt you, but because they doubt themselves. There will be moments where their honesty shakes, where their confidence cracks, where the fear of being misunderstood wrestles with the need to be seen. They will not enter your life like a hero in a story. They will enter like someone who finally realized they can't heal by pretending nothing happened. And that humility will matter more than any flawless confession ever could. They are practicing sentences in their head. Not dramatic speeches, but real ones. Things like, "I should have shown up better," and "I wasn't ready before, but I'm trying to be now," and "Can we talk without fighting the past?" Their voice may tremble. Their words may stumble. But the sincerity behind them will be the clearest it has ever been. Because this time, they won't be speaking to secure a second chance, they'll be speaking to tell the truth, regardless of the outcome. They know now that the goal is not to win you back. The goal is to stop lying to themselves. There will be emotion in their timing too. Moments where realization hits them so sharply it feels like lightning in the chest. Moments where their pride collapses under the weight of regret. Moments where they see your growth and wonder if they are brave enough to match it. And yet, beneath all that trembling, there will be a new steadiness, an understanding that if they want to step into your life again, they have to be someone who can stand beside you, not behind you, not beneath you, not half present in front of you, but beside you. As an equal. As a partner in truth instead of a performer in fear. This is why the future of this connection is not guaranteed and not doomed. It is conditional upon evolution. They are moving toward you, but alignment will decide if they stay. You are opening your heart, but boundaries will decide who gets to enter it. The universe is shifting the energy between you, but your choices will decide the outcome. This is not a love story written in ink. It is written in pencil until both souls are ready to write in permanence. So if they reach out, you do not shrink. If they speak honestly, you do not abandon discernment. If they ask for space to understand themselves, you do not put your life on hold. You respond from the version of yourself who now understands that connection without clarity is chaos, and you are done calling chaos love. You can be open without being undone. You can care without collapsing. You can listen without losing yourself in the echo of old patterns. And that is how destiny is shaped, not by longing for what was, but by requiring something better from what could be. The energy now is this: if they step toward you, they must step correctly. No half effort. No almost. No someday. Their words must match their behavior. Their interest must match their consistency. Their affection must match their accountability. This is where the manipulation of the past loses its power, because you no longer respond to emotional promises. You respond to action. You respond to proof. You respond to what is lived, not what is implied. And they feel that. That standard doesn't repel them, it pulls them closer. Not because they want to be controlled, but because they want to be chosen by you in a way that honors who they are becoming. You are not the test. You are the turning point. If they are meant to return, they will not return to who you were. They will return to who you are now. Lean in and listen carefully. If they come back, let it be through the door of accountability. If they stay away, let it be through the gate of self-respect. Either path leads to peace. Either path leads to clarity. Either path leads forward. Because the truth is no longer about, will they choose you? The truth is now about, do they choose growth? And soon, you will have your answer. There will come a moment, soon, sooner than your doubt believes, where the silence breaks. Not dramatically, not with fireworks, not with perfectly scripted timing, but with something simple and real. A notification. A message that lingers. A, "Hey, can we talk?" that carries more weight than an entire paragraph ever could. Or maybe it's not words first. Maybe it's an accidental call. A saved draft finally sent. A voice note recorded at 2 a.m. when honesty is louder than fear. However it arrives, it will feel different. Not like a cycle repeating, but like a door opening to a room where truth is waiting. And when that moment comes, your power is not in what you say. Your power is in how you hold yourself while saying it. You will feel the old instinct rise, the urge to over-explain, to reassure, to prove your worth, to earn the very connection your heart already deserved. But that instinct is a relic from a version of you that no longer exists. You are not that version now. You don't speak from fear anymore. You don't respond to avoid loss. You respond to honor truth. So when they reach out, you breathe. You let the message sit for a moment. You don't rush. Because clarity doesn't panic. You reply when your heartbeat feels like your ally, not your enemy. Your response won't sound like begging. It won't sound like resentment either. It will sound like balance. I'm open to talking. What do you need to say? That sentence alone shifts the dynamic. It places responsibility back where it belongs, with the one who is reopening the door. If they come in emotional, you remain grounded. If they come in shaky, you remain steady. If they come in sincere, you remain receptive. If they come in unclear, you remain unconfused. Because your response is not a performance. It is a boundary with breath in it. They may tell you they miss you. They may admit they were wrong. They may confess they thought distance would make it easier, but it only made the feelings louder. They may say someone else didn't compare. Or that no one understood them like you did. But your discernment will not be swayed by emotion alone. You're not here to be chosen out of loneliness. You're here to be chosen out of readiness. So you listen. Not to react, but to learn. Not to cling, but to clarify. Not to fill silence, but to witness truth. And if they ask, do you still care? You don't crumble. You don't chase. You don't fold into softness without structure. You say, I care. But caring isn't the same as returning to the same dynamic. If this moves forward, it has to move forward differently. That sentence is a key. It opens a new path where both souls step with awareness, not impulse. And that is where the real shift begins, not when they reach out, but when you answer in alignment with who you are now. In that moment, something in them will change. Their nervousness becomes sincerity. Their emotion becomes clarity. Their calm becomes commitment. Not a promise made out of fear of losing you, but a choice made out of recognition that they want to meet you where you've risen, not where you waited. This is where destiny stops being a feeling and starts becoming a direction. So if they return, you are ready, not because you held on, but because you held yourself. And if they do not, you are ready, not because you never cared, but because you finally learned to care for you, too. The outcome is no longer about keeping them. The outcome is about keeping alignment. And alignment will deliver what confusion never could. What comes next is not the end. It is the unveiling.